Protect your car with 3W Liners all-weather floor mats. Made from durable materials like TPE and rubber, our mats are designed to withstand rain, snow, and mud with deep grooves to trap dirt and liquids. For a custom fit and advanced protection, visit 3W Liners. That's the number 3, WLINERS.com today. Are you ready to take control of your health? At 4U Health, we believe wellness and lab testing should be accessible, inclusive, and yes, fun. With our tech-powered at-home lab test, you save time and money while feeling your best. Say goodbye to long waits and office visits. Check your health on your own terms with 4U Health. Visit 4uhealth.com today and free yourself from traditional medicine. That's the number 4uhealth.com. This is a Rogue Media Network podcast. This is Central Texas Life with Ann Harder.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Central Texas Life. And my friend Ellie Morrison is with us. And as you see, she is decked out in a very special uniform with what is now known as Scouting America, right?
Right.
Used to be Boy Scouts
It's still
of America.
It's still Boy
It
Scouts
still
of
is.
America. It's just a little more a nickname, if you will.
Well, of course, Ellie, we've known each other a long time, and you've always been, passionately dedicated to the work of scouting. But just so you know, she achieved the highest level in scouting in that she was the 11th National Commissioner of the Boy Scouts of America. This is back in 2018, and the first woman to fill that role. So pretty big deal.
Well, yeah, it was pretty exciting.
You're kind of a big deal. Scouting, though, has changed a lot, really, since 1999, I guess you could say, or when it was founded. Certainly it's changed a lot. But now young ladies are involved in scouting. And I have two granddaughters in Oklahoma are a part of that. So
Are they?
Yeah.
How wonderful. Well, some things are still the same. Most the important things are all still the same. We move and change a little bit to adjust to society today. But I'm delighted to hear your nieces are involved and let me know how they progress.
Yeah. Well, in fact, it's my granddaughter Felice she really has enjoyed it because working toward the badges has been a big thing for her to, the accomplishments involved with that. And of course, that's just a small part of scouting, but bonding with the parents and all that and the activities that they do. Let's talk about how you got started, though. Your kiddos, well, you have
I have a daughter and a son.
I thought it was a daughter and a son, and so it was the son. Started out in Cub Scouts, huh?
Well, my husband was his first den leader, and the schedule was complicated, and he came home one day and said, "You're going to have to be the den leader."
Well, he's kind of a noted pathologist. He's kind of got a busy schedule, too.
Well, that's true, but that was really the doorway for me, and we've been scouting together as a couple ever since. And so some people play tennis, and we scout.
Well, I think that's great. And you were talking to me earlier about what you're doing now. I mean, you were at the very top job, and you had a lot of stuff going on back at that time. I mean, there have been some rough patches for the Scouts over the years. How is interest in scouting now? I mean, what are you seeing as far as numbers of kiddos wanting to be involved?
We are lower numbers, truth to tell, than we have been. We would like to see that change. I think now there are a lot more opportunities for kids, and they tend to focus on one thing or another. They can't do it all.
Right.
No one can do it all. And Eddie and I have a philosophy, and we call it a scouting vacation. So a lot of kids come in at the 5th or 6th or 7th grade level. And then as they get towards high school, they want to try other things. And then a lot of them come back about their junior year in high
Really?
school.
Yeah.
And you accomplished this much when you were here before. Let's start
This
from
is-
where you are now.
That's
Let's
right.
help you get through.
Well, and of course, you mentioned those years. That's the Eagle Scout years. So, and that really is that's a pretty important thing on a resume, isn't it?
Yes, any kind of resume, whether it's a job resume or a college resume, a lot of times it makes a difference.
Yeah, yeah, and it's because of the organizational skills it takes to accomplish the Eagle, or what?
Well, there is some of that. When you get to the Eagles, there are 12 required merit badges, and most of those are life skill type things. How to manage your time and your money, how to cook, first aid, those kinds of things. So when a kid leaves the program and they have accomplished those, they have shown that they are persistent, they are resistant to peer pressure, they know what is right and wrong, and they pursue the right thing to do even when it's hard.
Mm-hmm. And there are girls now that are accomplishing Eagle Scout. I mean, we were chatting at a symphony event. I think you were saying, what girls, because girls and boys are different, and so what they bring to the table with their Eagle Scouting projects and so forth can be very different than what the boys do. You want to talk about that?
Yeah. Well, first, the two troops meet totally separate.
Okay, that's important. Yeah.
Yeah, our girls' troop meets on the same night, but in a different building than our boys' troop does.
Yeah.
But the girls tend to do things with the environment or with emotional issues. There's one girl that is from Arizona, and she realized bullying was a problem in her school. She got permission from her independent school district to set up a way where kids could report bullying, but it be anonymous.
Mm-hmm.
The incidence of reporting went up 500%.
Really?
And now that school district has adopted what she has done for the whole school district. That's
My
impactful.
goodness. No kidding. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's neat to know that there are still, though, opportunities for these young people to be a part of a group, have a common goal, have fun, and be learning these important skills. In researching this, going back and looking at the motto and those things haven't changed, right?
No, none of that's the same. I mean, it's still focused on the kid, preparing them to make moral and ethical decisions over their lifetime, but giving them enough life skills that they will be successful in whatever it is that they do.
Mm-hmm. What are you finding that they're maybe the modern kids today that they're kind of behind on? Is there something that everybody talks about these things and how they're impacting young people and not in a good way? What kinds of things are you seeing that scouting is helping to maybe counteract in our young people's culture?
What I see is when a kid goes on a camp out, he or she are going to take what we call the 10 essentials. Rain gear, even if it's the dead of summer and there's no rain in forecast.
Yeah, be prepared.
Be
Isn't that one of those
prepared. Be
things?
prepared. And things like that. But they also take along with them a lot of anxiety that has built up, a lot of stress. But in being outdoors, there's just such a restorative thing. When they get ready to leave, they also tend to leave their water bottles, but they also leave a lot of that stress and anxiety, and they come back ready to face the next week. When they go to a high adventure situation like Philmont or Sea Base or Northern Tier, they're out there 2 weeks, and they come back, they walk differently, they talk differently, they grow up in a situation like that, and they are much more confident in whatever it is they're going to face next.
It got to be gratifying for you, Ellie, to see that.
It's a joy to know
Yeah,
that I've been a part of it.
I know. I know. Well, it's really neat to get to talk to you and learn more about scouting in this way. You've been given some pretty high awards. I think you were given the Silver Beaver, Silver Antelope, and Silver Buffalo. So tell me about your awards through your journey with scouting.
Well, those are things you don't seek,
Yeah,
but
right.
people want to say thank you.
Yeah.
And so they use those things as a way to say thank you for your successful service.
Yeah. Well, so we've talked about some of the adventures that scouts take out in the wilderness and on their camps and stuff. But how is it all set up? And you said currently you are
I'm an
council president. And so how is the hierarchy? How is it built?
for adults.
Well, no, for the kids. I mean,
Okay.
you start out with Cub Scouts or a pack, maybe at a church or wherever.
Yeah.
That's the smallest level, and
Yes.
then it goes to what?
Well, the traditional scouting route would be to start with Cub Scouts, move into Scouts BSA, the troop level that you're familiar with. And then at that point, you're 18 and you do whatever. Some become assistant scoutmasters, some go on to a different program. There is another program that begins at 14 and goes to 21 called Venturing. And those kids are those units are responsible for their own money. They're responsible for whatever trip they're doing. They have to do the whole planning.
Really?
And it's much more flexible, but at the same time, there's an adult kind of hanging in the background.
Right.
But by
a
and
little bit
large,
of,
the kids
right.
are making the decisions.
That's great.
Then there are other groups for kids that are interested in STEM, and they're focused on that. There's an Explorer program. We have a great police Explorer program here in Waco.
Really.
And the kids learn and ride along in the police cars.
Maybe interested in
that's in
a
law
career in that.
enforcement, and I've had several kids go into law enforcement.
Really, yeah.
So there's something for everybody somewhere.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, it's just finding the right niche.
But then you have conventions. I mean, the jamboree. Tell me about a jamboree. Because I mean, normally the president shows up. I mean, different, maybe on video, but it is a very big deal. And is that the same place every year? Does it move around? Tell me about that.
Well, it's at the same place every year.
Okay.
At this point, there's a high adventure camp in West Virginia called the Summit, and all of the jamborees are there. And so scouts from all over the nation and some international come, and it is really something to be on a hillside with 30,000 other people and stand up and recite the Scout Oath and Law. I mean, it's a very impactful thing. And we do, at places like that, we do a deeper dive into all different kinds of things and expose kids to different stuff. And, it's, when adults meet one another, having been married to an Eagle Scout now for 54 years.
I don't think I knew that about
Well, yes.
Dr. Eddie.
Yes, well,
That's good.
But
Yeah.
they tend to say, oh, you were in Scouts. First question, were you in Eagle?
Yeah.
Second question, were you in OA? And the third one is, did you go to a jamboree?
A jamboree. So how many have you been to?
Oh, I don't know, 5 or 6.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's fascinating to me, and I think it's also rewarding to know that again these kinds of opportunities are available for kids now who do face so much that when our kids were little, nothing compared to what
No,
children are
nothing
dealing
compared
with
to what they do today. And it's interesting. We had one kid come back just to visit last week. He went into the military
Mm-hmm.
and has served some time in the military and came back to see a scoutmaster.
Oh.
So when they come back, and we just take such great joy in seeing what it is they've done and where they are now, and they bring back their children. And
Oh, that is great.
It all began with a simple idea, cutting handles off old ski sticks to create better pull-up bars. This sparked the creation of the revolutionary Engels 90 handles. After testing over 70 prototypes with 300 athletes, our patented handles were launched in 2018. We continue to push the boundaries of strength training. Join us in making your training more natural and effective. Visit Engels90.com to learn more and revolutionize your workout.
Get paid faster with Bill, the easiest way to send, receive, and manage your payments. No more delays, no more hassle. Whether you're a freelancer or a business, Bill makes payments seamless and secure, simple, fast, and reliable. Sign up today at Bill.com.
So, how can people learn more about like where the local packs are and the troops and all that kind of thing? I mean, I guess our regular interaction with Boy Scouts is that we have our flag. Is it 457?
yeah,
I think
497.
497. Anyway, every year, we write that check to them, and it's just so beautiful in our neighborhood to see, and they are so faithful, and the dads.
Oh,
Driving the truck, and I have my little, what is the fleur de lis, my little scout symbol where the pole goes. It's just a wonderful gift to the community that this troop has done for a long time.
Long time. And that's part of it. The community really owns all those units. And so Food for Families is where you will see scouting probably most prominently.
Right.
But all those Eagle Scout projects that we talk about are done for the community. And a lot of people never know. That's all of a sudden, oh, there's some new bleachers here. I wonder where they came from.
How did this happen? Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of thing. But you asked me, where can people find out more about scouting? And on the website, there is an address called Be a Scout, all one word, beascout.com.
Be a Scout.
And you can poke on that and put in a little information about where you are, and units will pop up, and there will be a little description about that unit and a phone number that you can call and actually talk to one of the leaders.
That's great, and I know parents want to get involved, and so there's always opportunities then for parent volunteers, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, some of my closest friends are other assistant scoutmasters or people that we've met through scouting. And, it doesn't work without the parents there.
Right.
And that gives the parent an opportunity to see their kid interact with other kids. You don't see that unless you're in a group sitting and can see how because kids act differently around each other than they do around adults.
That is true. That is true.
And this gives the parent an opportunity to see how their kid is going and how they're managing. And then they're more equipped, if you will, to guide them at home.
Yeah, absolutely. The thing about scouting, is there a cost involved?
Yeah, there's a cost. There's insurance and all kinds of things that the registration fee covers. And so that's part of it. And there's uniform cost.
Yeah.
And when you go on one of the adventures, that's not free.
I was
either.
going to say that I'm
You
sure
know,
there's
even-
fundraising that has to be done.
Well, that's right. Even a camp out, you got to, and when you do a camp out, there's a patrol, and someone is the grub master of the week.
Mm-hmm.
That individual plans the meal and
Wow.
assigns who's going to cook what and who's going to clean up, and there's a cost to that.
Yeah,
you
of
know.
course. Yeah.
It's meant to be minimal,
Yeah.
but there is a fee.
Yeah. Do you have like an ability to provide maybe scholarships for some
We do.
kiddos? Yeah, of course the Girl Scouts, they sell cookies, but I can't think of anything that the Boy Scouts necessarily do. Although maybe the flag thing, maybe that's their fundraiser.
That's for $4.97.
Yeah, they
certainly.
should be doing pretty well.
But we also sell popcorn,
Yeah.
and we sell camp cards, which are a discount, if you will, to some of the restaurants in town. So
Oh,
you
okay.
can buy a camp card for a minimal fee, and then you and your family can get a discount.
Discount, yeah, yeah, like an A+ card, that kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Type
Yeah.
thing. Oh, that is great. Well, it's exciting to see where Boy Scouting is going. I caught myself. More than 1 million kids involved, like
Yes.
right now. And you mentioned internationally. How many international scouts are there?
Oh, gosh. That's a good question. And I think at this point, there are only 4 countries in the world that don't have scouting.
Really,
So it's really.
it's pretty universal.
Yes, it is. And so I've been to 2 international jamborees.
Really,
And it is really something to be waiting for a ceremony to begin, and each country has their flag. And when the wind is blowing, all of those flags, and you can't
Beautiful.
even identify them all.
yeah.
Yeah, but there is a world organization of scouting, and several of my close friends right now are involved in that, and 2 of my friends have been president. So it is something to see.
Yeah, I don't know that I was aware that it was that universal a thing, but it's great to know. That is great to know. Well, fun. Anything else you can think of that we haven't touched on about scouting that you want to share with our
Well,
viewers?
it offers all the things that people usually volunteer for:
Mm-hmm.
close relationships,
Yeah.
opportunity for adventure, and influence on someone else's life.
Yeah. Well said. That's beautiful. Well, I love to end these little chats with a questionnaire similar to the one the great James Lipton would use on Inside the Actors Studio. So this is my take on it. Ellie, what's your favorite word?
My favorite word. Family, probably.
Yeah. Your least favorite word?
Something unfinished.
Oh, okay. I've never heard that before, but I like that. I like that. What turns you on creatively, emotionally, or spiritually?
I guess opportunity, and particularly opportunity to serve others. And I see that manifested in different ways in different peoples. And I think maybe opportunity, and then the opportunity to teach is important to me.
What turns you off creatively or spiritually or emotionally?
Too much to do.
Now you're preaching to me. No, that's true. That's true. Just busyness. What sound do you love the most?
Maybe the birds chirping in the morning.
I hear that a lot. Bird song. People love that. There's something just kind of peaceful about how happy
Well,
the birds
and
are in the morning.
it's a new day beginning.
Yeah, it's
a
yes,
new opportunity.
new opportunity. There's your word again. What sound do you hate?
Static.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just
That drives me crazy.
Yeah, I'm right with you there. What profession or job, what would you like to have tried?
Oh, well, I was a teacher,
Mhm.
and that is still really my modus operandi. I can't imagine having done anything else.
Yeah. And you still are really
still
through scouting,
teaching.
no question.
I'm still teaching.
Yeah, yeah. What job do you know you would not want to do? No thanks.
Oh, gosh. Something messy.
Messy. Right. Okay. All right. That's good. Um, One last question. What do you want to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Well done.
Yeah. I hear that from just about everybody. Thank you. You are doing it well. I mean, I'm just in awe of all you've done with Scouting Ellie, and it's just a joy to know you and to know a little bit more about this aspect of your life, such a big part of it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks
thank
for
you.
this opportunity.
Hey, listen, I think it's great, and hopefully more interest even in scouting because it's such a valuable thing for kids' lives. Yeah, and the adults dealing with it too. Absolutely, wouldn't you say?
Oh, I've been places, done things, and learned all kinds of stuff.
I'll bet you have. I'll bet you have. Well, thank you, and thank you for being with us for this edition of Central Texas Life. We'll see you next time. Bye bye.
Central Texas Life with Ann Harder is part of the Rogue Media family. Be sure to check out our other shows at roguemedianetwork.com. Please rate this show 5 stars on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, or anywhere you get your podcasts. Join us again soon for more Central Texas Life with Ann Harder. This has been a Rogue Media Network production.